Good evening. Welcome to the August 13th Commission on Disabilities meeting. Please stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And do a roll call of members. Vice Chair Rick Frenny.
Present.
Michelle DeBellis.
Present.
Enza Goodwin.
Present.
Pauline Perno.
Present.
Albert Sheridan is absent. Robert Bent is absent. Myself, Chair Ralph DeChico, is present. I just want to wish one of our commission members, Robert Bent, a speedy recovery. He's had a tough go of it the last month and a half, so in and out of the hospital, and he is presently back in the hospital battling just an illness, but we hope he will have a speedy recovery and be home soon. So get well wishes to you, Robert, and hopefully you'll be home soon. The first item is if I could have someone make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our July 11th, 2019 meeting. There was no July meeting.
Motion to approve.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. The next order of business is item 2. We have someone from the community liaison from the mayor's office, Priscilla Nickerson, who wanted to come up in front of the Commission on Disabilities. So welcome, Priscilla.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Priscilla Nickerson. I am the community liaison working out of the mayor's office in our city. Mayor Arrigo and I are very happy to see that this commission is back. We really appreciate everyone's hard work. I am here today to talk about the 311 system and our mobile city hall. 311 is a new service that was implemented by Mayor Arrigo to help constituents with any and all issues that they need help with. It's a very organized system that has been doing great things for our city. Residents can call 311 from their home phone if they don't know about this service, and also they can dial 781-286-8311 from their mobile phone. Also, I would like to talk about the mobile city hall that was started today. The city, if anybody would like to know where the mobile city hall will be or when it will be in their area, it is on the Revere website, which is revere.org. It will tell you exactly when it will be in your neighborhood. It is a convenient service to help you pay your bills, get a dog license, etc. This service was implemented especially for the disabled and for our seniors that are not able to come to City Hall. So it's a very convenient and great service for any and all of our residents. If any resident needs help that they feel things aren't maybe getting done in time, or they would like to get it done sooner, maybe it is of an emergency nature, they can call me. Again, my name is Priscilla Nickerson, and I could be reached at P. Nickerson, which is Nickerson at revere.org. I'm available Monday through Friday, and I've got a lot accomplished in the year that I've had this position. So please feel free, anyone, to give me a call. Anyone that is disabled or a senior, I can come to their home and we can discuss any problem they are experiencing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Priscilla. Does anyone have any questions that they'd like to ask? I think this is going to be great for the community, especially for the disabled communities. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe today it was in Ward 1. So hopefully some of the people took advantage of that. And like Priscilla said, it is on the Revere.org website on the monthly calendar where it is going to be on certain days. And I know because of the Commission on Disabilities, I actually got an email that not only is City Hall's main office going to be going there, but they're also asking if any departments want to join in and possibly use the vehicle to go out to any specific areas in the city. So that's something that I'll look into, and I believe it's going to be starting to be at different events and whatnot.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a benefit for a lot of the residents that, can't make it to City Hall, or it's going to be convenient for them at some of the locations throughout the city. So
Right.
it was a good
I
thing.
believe it's a great thing for our city.
Especially with you,
Great idea.
and they can call you with any questions as as
Yes, I
the
can also
liaison.
give my work phone number is 781-808-7902. Can be reached anytime. Like I said, Monday through Friday, I'm available.
Okay.
Okay?
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is item 3. It's just, it's information regarding Revere TV televised and recording city meetings. This was recently on the city council meeting's agenda, I believe, a few weeks ago. So I just wanted to bring this up to the Commission on Disabilities because I know we have a few residents out there that are disabled that could be hard of hearing or whatnot, and I want to say that this was brought up right when the Commission on Disabilities was reestablished, and I did have some talks with Revere TV about closed captioning. That closed captioning at that time, and as of today, still for the live recordings of meetings, it is not closed captioned, but any rebroadcast on the YouTube channel, the Revere TV YouTube channel, can be accessed for closed captioning. If anybody had any questions or concerns, it would be great. They can just reach out to the Revere Commission on Disabilities, and I would have had that information for them. That's what we're here for. To anybody needs any of that information, they could reach out to us, and that would have been readily available for them. So I just wanted to let that be known. At that time, it was stated by Bob Dunbar because the technology at that time and wasn't available, or the cost for it, and you needed to have somebody be able to type it right then and there and be able to feed it live, but they do have it that it's rebroadcasted. Basically, I went and checked a lot of the city meetings between zoning board, city council meetings, the Commission on Disability meetings, and whatnot. All of them have the closed captioning option, which is a great benefit for the hearing impaired. So that would have been some information that I would have been able to have readily available if the contact was made to the Commission on Disabilities. So I just wanted to let that be known, and if anybody has any questions or comments on that, hopefully in the near future it will be able to be live broadcasted as that happens. Is there any questions on that? Or okay. Next is item number 4, just a brief update on the state MOD ADA planning grant for fiscal year 2019. I was trying to bring up my laptop on the internet, but I'm having some kind of an issue bringing it up. So basically, I just wanted to not only let the residents of Revere know, but also the Commission on Disabilities, that the ADA assessment, all the visits were completed and the reports have been all generated, the transition plans on all the municipal buildings. It is just getting put onto a hard disk for us from the consulting company. They did an unbelievable job on these reports. And, it's going to be a lot easier for me to share it when it's on a disk than the files are huge. Just as an example, one of the smaller reports, I'll say small, but it isn't, is the historical building, was over, I believe, 280 pages. And the detail that the engineering consulting company is unbelievable. The time that they took, they went into it, the measurements, the pressure measurements of the doors, the handicap accessibilities and all that that they did. It was extraordinary, and I wanted to publicly commend that consulting engineering company on that. Is something that was well needed in Revere to do, and I'm glad that it was done. It was done on all of the city municipal buildings, including 2 of the older schools, which is needed. And then now they not only in the report that they let you know what they found, they also give you suggestions on how it can be done, what the cost analysis will be for those. And now that we have that, we will be able to go out to find some grants on them, because this was the first step in order to get a lot of the grants that are out there. They usually, the state and the government want you to have an assessment portfolio to say, and a transition plan first on file. And from my recollection, and I could not find one that Revere has done. In 1992, it was mandated by the JOC, the DOJ actually, that cities and towns were supposed to have one done, and it was supposed to be done by 1995. Luckily, the DOJ didn't enforce it, but through people that I had talked to, they were going to be starting to go back and implement that. So we were ahead of the curve. So luckily that's done, and we'll take it from there, and all that information will be able to be shared with departments and city councils once that's all put together in a disc format for anyone to see. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that, and it was well worth the grant that we got to get that implemented. Item number 5 is a discussion and information regarding the Next Stop Revere participation in the Master Plan online survey, which will help inform the development of the city's master plan. There are questions and concerns for residents to answer and comment, especially on disabled residents and families. As you can see, a PowerPoint has been put up on your screen that will show you the website where you can go for this. This has been set up. The Next Stop Revere. In the early spring, there was meetings throughout the city to design it for developments between the next 15 to 20 years for where we would want Revere to be and what we would want done. I believe there hasn't been a master plan for the city of Revere since I think it was the early 70s. So it was time that this needed to be done. So the survey is going to be open until the end of August. So it would be great if residents in the community could go online and fill out this survey. It's only going to benefit not only you, but your family and members in your family for generations to come. So if you have any questions, you could also contact the Community Development Office in Revere, and they can answer any more questions, or you can just go to the survey itself or visit revere.org, the city's website, for any further questions. So they had asked me to pass along this information, and they're going to be passing this along at various city meetings. So your participation is greatly appreciated. I know a few of the members have already done it on the Commission on Disabilities. There are a lot of questions that will help disabled families and residents in the city of Revere. So if anybody has questions, a show of hands, who on the commission have filled it out? Myself, Vice Chair Rick Frenny, you told me you were going to be filling it out. Yeah. Oh, you already did. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Because it's greatly will benefit. The more information that they have, the better off it is. And it's anonymous. It's not going to know who you are. I can't remember if it, does it ask, Enza, do you remember if it asks for who you are? I don't think so.
No, so it doesn't ask for who you are. I mean, there are some questions that are kind of leaning towards, like if you work within the city, if you live in the city, what part you live in. I mean, they could maybe narrow down certain things that way. I think the key piece to it would be there is a section where you can add a comment or a suggestion.
Right.
And that would be the spot, for example, that I noted that it would be nice to see more programs for individuals with disabilities.
Okay, perfect. All right, so does anybody else have any questions or comments on that, or?
I just have a quick question. If people don't have access to the online, how,
They can contact, that's what, they can go on the city, actually, they won't be able to go on the city website, but
Right.
they can call the Revere 311.
okay,
Yeah, call the Revere 311 office, and they could explain that they don't have internet, and they may be able to connect them
Is there a
to the
hard
community.
copy?
Yeah, they may be able to connect them to the community development office.
great.
Tech, who is in charge of that, and they may be able to find an alternative way of
Excellent.
them being able to fill it out.
All right, thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is just an open agenda, because at the time, we weren't sure, and I'm still not sure. It was scheduled August events for CPAC, so I'm not sure if anything has been, Enza?
Last Saturday, Revere Recreation hosted their annual color party at the Wayland/SBA field, and they designated within the space an area for our families to come out to, and CPAC covered the cost for our Revere families. And that turned out to be a really nice time had by all that attended. I think in all, we had about 8 or so families that came out, which was nice to see. This coming Saturday, there's Row to Revere taking place, which is also a great opportunity to come out and support our groups. At this point, we have an unofficial kickoff to our September events, being September 19th. We're hoping to host an ice cream social at the Garfield School. So we're just waiting to get that definitely confirmed, but it looks like the 19th, which is a Thursday, will be at the Garfield for an ice cream social for CPAC and its members.
Anyone have anything else they'd like to add for any events? I know Vice Chair Rick Frenny has an event coming up in October, so I'll preliminary talk about it now. It's for the Little Ricky Foundation. It's October 13th, and it's going to be at the Breakaway. All the proceeds greatly benefit the special needs children in the Revere education system. And it's a fun-filled day, if anybody needs any more information on that, they can contact Rick Frenny. It's a fun-filled event. On another note, something else that's going to be happening this month at the Paul Revere School, actually next week, where they are building a new playground. And the reason why I'm talking about this, they are looking for volunteers. It's going to be Friday, August 23rd. You can go on this, I believe it might be on the City of Revere's website, or you could contact me and I can get you some information to register. But one thing that I like that they're doing, we have one piece of equipment that is going to be handicap accessible, that any child that's in a wheelchair can be put in to sit into it, to spin around. Also, they are going to be making an accessible walkway all the way from the school, cement walkway, all the way from the school to the playground, so that no one will have to go through the grass or stone. So it'll be from the parking lot. So that's the reason why, the second reason why I am mentioning it that here. So that's a big endeavor. If anybody knows the area, it's a long way. So they're making a new entrance there, and it'll be a walkway. I want to say it's got to be at least over 200 feet. Yeah, 200 to 250 feet. It will be a cement walkway that will be there, and everything should be done for the first day of school. So anybody interested in coming to assist, you could reach out to me at the Disability Office or L. Baker at the Community Development Office, and we can let you know on how to register to sign up and help. Anyone else have any other events for coming up? Next is item 7, is my CODA Commissions on Disabilities Alliance monthly conference call meetings. I actually had one on Wednesday, July 10th, and also this past Wednesday, August 7th. On the July call, there was a representative who was speaking about legislation and ordinances that they are trying to come up with regarding electric scooters, and wanted to speak with various Disability Commission members on the call. A lot of commissions had concerns about these, especially on how they are going to be regulated, along with them not being to be allowed to be used on sidewalks. Another concern was the parking of the electrical scooters. The speaker was mentioning how they are thinking of allowing them to be able to go over the town lines in neighboring communities. This program is going to be basically like on the bicycles. But one of the concerns that I brought up along with a couple other people on the call is an example, people who go to school or work in Boston or Cambridge, but they live in a community that borders those towns, just outside those areas, they could be allowed to travel there if they implement being able to cross over the line. So the issue will be, where will those scooters be parked? You could have an overwhelming amount of them in that community. So that was also a main concern, not only them being able to be ridden on the sidewalks, but being parked, and if they allow them to cross over the town lines, you could have a congregation, just to say, in Cambridge, the main square there, what's going to happen, where are they going to, where are people going to be able to, not only disabled, be able to walk and get down, and regular people. So that was one of the issues. The call on August 7th was in regards to the state budget being signed, and Governor Baker kept the proposed $8 million line item for AHVP, which stands for Alliance Housing Voucher Programs. And this is a state-funded vouching program. And I believe this was up $2 million from last year's budget. And this voucher program benefits disabled residents 60 years of age or younger. It is based on a formula based at 90% of the market rate rentals in residential territories established in the Commonwealth. Certain cities and towns' housing authorities do not apply or issue these vouchers for numerous reasons, but on the call I was told that Revere Housing Authority had 90 vouchers that they give out as of last year, and Revere is one of the highest communities that has these vouchers in the Commonwealth. The inventory for these types of apartments throughout the state is inadequate, and hopefully the legislature will continue to work aggressively to correct this. Lastly, it was mentioned that the vacant positions at the AAB, which is the Architectural Access Board, and the MOD, Mass Office of Disabilities, still have not been filled. Just to go back on the voucher, the AHVP vouchers, basically what that money provides is about 800 vouchers throughout the whole Commonwealth. And out of those 800, Revere had 90 of them through the housing. So Revere does get an abundance of them. There is, of course, a waiting list for them and whatnot, but I just wanted to let people know on that. And of course, it's done through the housing. It doesn't have anything to do with the city of Revere, but this is information that I wanted to get out there. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on either my July call about the scooters or the vouching on the August call. Of the vouchers? Yeah, 11% is a good amount.
350 communities.
Yeah, out of 350 communities, exactly, Mr. Vice Chair. Yeah. But like I said, some communities do not apply for them, and what the reason being is the paperwork and whatnot, I guess, some of the communities. But luckily, the Revere Housing finds it a necessity to do the paperwork for it. The item number 8 is old business, is Pauline Perno. It's going to talk about a letter that she's been drawing up regarding crosswalks that we had discussed at our June meeting.
So I have started to draft a letter with the help of a pen and paper, good old-fashioned. But in doing so, I've also had some conversations with several communities, west suburban, some north suburban, specifically those communities that have both state roads and their own roads that DPW are aware of. And the one thing that I hadn't really given a lot of thought to, only because, traveling the beach while it's bright and sunny out, and yes, you do see people jumping into crosswalks, was the whole issue of what to look forward to in the winter when this problem is still going to surface, even probably more, because we have a limited space for plowing, and we all know that the snow does get plowed up against roadways and up against the areas of the abutting the crosswalks. So in drafting, I will start to redraft a letter that also addresses that issue. I've been up and down the beach multiple times, and it's not just the beach that I'm concerned with. I'm also concerned with down here, the crosswalks leading onto Mountain Ave, going onto the high school area, only because towards the end of the school year last year, I did notice there was a stronger police presence there in the morning, but they were also not getting there until 7:45, 10 minutes of 8, when school was then in session at 7:50. So that was kind of, really, it needed more support earlier, I feel. But I see a lot of the kids they're trying to walk across the crosswalks. People know that they're supposed to yield to pedestrians in the crosswalks. However, there seems to be a lot more traffic, and I think that with the increase in traffic, whether it's from the apartments, the condos, people using this as a cut-through, and I did have a conversation with Mayor Arrigo about that. I did ask him for another fly zone going directly from North Shore Road all the way over here. He didn't buy it. But in view of the amount of traffic, it is going to pose an additional problem. And I think that before we end up with a real serious issue the crosswalks, to at least look at this as a pilot, maybe along Broadway, along the beach, and maybe a couple of key areas targeting like different sections of Revere, to at least try it as a pilot to have the illumination before we do get into an incident.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments? I feel with you for about the traffic, and I did get a follow-up that you did talk to the mayor, and I guess a traffic study was completed, and this was astonishing to me to hear that 97% of our traffic is from out of town.
That's correct.
97% of Revere's traffic is from out of town, and that was astonishing.
But when
Revere
you see,
especially now that the Tobin Bridge people are avoiding the Tobin Bridge, and I don't know where they're going, how they're avoiding the Tobin Bridge, and
they're
are they going in the water?
They're getting off in West Revere before they hit the Tobin on-ramp, and they're cutting down by SBA, coming down Broadway, cutting through and going down
to Everett,
down by the airport is what they're doing. And with that and the lane closures on both sides of the Tobin, it's not just one, it's going to affect us both ways. He did share that with me as well, and I said, well, can we keep them out? And that was not an option either. But looking at the traffic going from, say, the Point of Pines area to the high school, which usually during non-traffic or light traffic can take 15 minutes, is now upwards of 45 to an hour. And that's given just regular commuter traffic. That's not given bus breakdowns, any kind of an accident, any kind of a diversion because of road repairs. So we also have to look at that, because I did get that notice saying that they're going to start the repaving going into the end of September. So already we're going to be looking at that additional jump. And there are going to be more kids, especially since it's still nice weather, that are going to be using the crosswalks and walking to and from any of the schools, whether it's the high school, Susan B., Paul Revere, Garfield, it doesn't matter where. But I think that in view of not just students, not just kids, but people that are in wheelchairs, if they're going to implement this scooter program, it's going to have to be even more extra vigilant, hyper vigilant.
Yeah, and this was-
Because you're not going to be able to see
That
those
scooter
people coming
program was
through.
Boston anyway,
Right.
Cambridge area.
But it's
Revere,
Boston and Cambridge, but
yeah.
we have the bikes, and it's
Yeah.
the same issue with them, is if you
Right.
have people up against either part, you're not going to see those individuals
Exactly,
entering and exiting.
exactly. Anyone else have any comments? Okay. So next is late item. I have one late item that I just wanted to let the commission know and the public that I am working with Ruben Cantor in the data innovation department, that I'm going to be trying to get the handicap applications and that survey online so that they can be filled out electronically. So those will be going on the city website, the disability page soon. So I want to try and get most of our stuff done electronically, which will be great. And going forward, anything else that we create for any other types of applications to go electronically. And then it'll make it a lot easier for anybody who has access to the computer to fill out any types of applications or surveys from the Commission on Disabilities. It will be electronic and moving away from the paper copies. Right now, the paper copies are coming in and I'm scanning them. They're going electronic, but it will eliminate that step and it'll be a lot easier for the residents. There still will be paper copies available, but it'll make it easier for people that want to do it electronically. So I just wanted to share that I've been working on that also. So I wanted to get that out there. I don't know if anyone else has anything else that they'd like to add. Open forum from the residents. Don't all jump out at once in the audience. Next is next steps, and as of right now, I know Robert Bent wants to try and get some members to try and get some tables set up for events when events are coming up. I know in September there is the Fall Festival, so if he's okay, he may want to look at putting a Commission on Disabilities table out with some information. Vice Chair is trying to see if he has that full envelope of information that I had created for the event that was at the high school for the autistic walk that he took from Robert, that I had tons of information made. So that we'll have that, and then we can go from there. Like I said, then if we have volunteers, or even if we don't, we can have information for such as that put onto the mobile city hall truck, so that when they go in, yeah. So we can have some of our disability information or anything that you think can pertain, we can add to the mobile city hall truck also. So that'd be great. Item number 12, I'll have Pauline read for me.
Here is your reminder, the Commission on Disabilities has office hours on Fridays from 8:15 to 12:15 p.m. in the Veterans Services Office in the rear of the Legion Building at 249 Rear Broadway, which is next door to City Hall. You can call for an appointment if you like, but do not need one. You will be able to talk to someone from our 311 Constituent Service Center on other days when you're called to our office at 781-286-8267. They will be able to answer most questions, but if they are unable to, or you would like a call back from our office, they can transfer you to the Disability Office's voicemail, and someone will get back to you as soon as they can. Also, please let us know if you would like something discussed or brought up and added to our monthly meeting agenda. You can let us know if you would like to come and speak on any issue or concern. The Commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere. Please note the office will be closed on Friday, the 23rd of August, 2019.
That was great, thank you.
You're very welcome.
And as another note for all residents, remember school is going to be opening on August 27th. So please be safe on everyone driving out there and watch out for all the children. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
And a second?
Second.
Second. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, September 10th, 2019, at 6 PM. Thank you, and have a good night.